Russia is currently brokering a ceasefire agreement between the Syrian opposition forces and the Syrian government of Bashar al-Assad. It goes into effect in just hours, 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, that's like an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes from now. Folks, this is a very tenuous situation at best. This after Moscow, Iran, and Turkey all signaled they are willing to reach a deal to settle the nearly 6-year-old war in Syria. Let's bring in Colonel Allen West. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West is also a former congressman. Look, let me get first to the breaking news, Colonel. The Obama administration says enough is enough. Blake just outlined some very dramatic steps that have been taken, among them the expulsion of about 35 Russian diplomats and intelligence operatives. And within 24 hours, by noon tomorrow, these compounds will be closed, shut, Russia get out. What does this mean overall? What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be with you, Liz. Happy New Year. And I want to ask the question, if Hillary Clinton had won the election, would we be going through all of these machinations and all of these sanctions and the expulsions of these officials? Russia has been violating so many different acts of international law. For instance, when over a 48-hour period, there were 33 instances of them buzzing U.S. Navy warships in international waters, but yet nothing was done then. When I look at the fact that President Obama has 22 days left, the actions that he just took right now are going to fall on the incoming administration. And I wonder if there was any consultation with the incoming administration, because they're the ones who are going to have to continue on with this foreign policy. And from a political aspect, think about the optics if Donald Trump were to go in and re-allow these individuals to be reinstated back in the United States of America. That's something that the media is going to come down on him about. So again, it's probably too much, too little, too late. And as Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, said, this is the result of 8 years of failed foreign policy with Russia, to include President Obama saying in 2012 that he'd have more flexibility with Russia after his re-election.
I am hearing you say, when you say too little, too late, something like this should have been done long ago. Look, the Russians have been very aggressive with America, and a lot of people say President Ronald Reagan would have been turning in his grave to hear how open-armed President-elect Donald Trump is, and yet he would also be very unhappy if Obama is doing what he's doing so late. What should be done now?
Well, the thing is, of course, as we look at 22 days before a new administration comes in, you've placed the Trump administration into a little bit of a box. And like I said, I wonder if there was any coordination of this action with the incoming administration. I think without a doubt that the Trump administration is going to have to reestablish itself at a moral high ground, which the Obama administration has not had. You see the impacts that this decision has had on the market right now. So I don't know if this was a very well thought through action that President Obama has taken, or it's just a reactionary, politically induced type of decision that he just made.
Colonel West, does this put the ceasefire in jeopardy? It's supposed to happen in about an hour and 49 minutes from now.
Well, President Obama is irrelevant in the Middle East. The fact that Russia, Iran, and Turkey are meeting and deciding what is going to happen in Syria, that lets you know that the person that once talked about a red line, the person that once talked about Bashar al-Assad has to go. He has no stake in this whatsoever. So he is a sideline player, and again, this is about leading from behind. But we have to start looking forward in the next 22 days what this means for the incoming presidential administration. It means that we're not going to have a very smooth transition, and the foreign policy and national security aspect of the Trump administration is going to have to be quite preeminent.
Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, wishing you a very happy and healthy holiday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Liz.
We've got the closing bell ringing in 48 minutes.